social media and aeroplanes. We do it, of course, with Vaughn Davies at tgf.co.nz. Joining us from the goat farm today, and just to prove as such, he's holding a chicken. Good morning, Vaughn.
Hello, how are you? This is one of our chickens. She's never been on the radio before. It's a bit of a first. How you doing, Chook?
That's lovely. What a good looking chicken. For those in radio land, it's got a nice. What do you call that little head gear that they have? What is it?
Oh, I think that's the crop. I think it's called the crop, perhaps. It's a sign of chicken health. There you go. It's a sign of a healthy chicken. A big red one of those standing up nicely.
Just about ready for what do you call it when you kill a chicken? Is it harvest that chicken?
I don't know. Culling, I suppose. Egg chickens don't have a very long productive life, and these ones are sort of laying around 25-30% at the moment. Wow. So their days are numbered.
Could end up Sunday roast, perhaps.
Unless perhaps one of our listeners is interested in 4 lovely chickens.
Yes. Now apparently you're having you're having rabbit for dinner this evening. Is that right?
That is a possibility. We did start the day with my favourite way to start the day here at the goat farm is a naked bunny hunt at dawn. So I opened the so I'm being looked at by a chicken off camera. Go away. Did you ever have that feeling you're being looked at by a chicken off camera?
All the time, yeah.
I opened the curtains this morning, get up and prepare for you, and I saw there's a rabbit sitting on the lawn. There was no time to waste. I didn't have time to get dressed, but I grabbed my gun and went out and dropped the little bastard. So, yeah, excellent start to the day. Recommend it.
Yeah, the spirit of Easter still continuing. Let's kick off with some, I think we're looking at now experiential advertising, aren't we?
Yeah, for a channel, cable channel TNT out of Belgium, I think it was. Took over a town square there and rigged a great big button in the middle of the place, saying, push for more drama. And 2 interesting things. Firstly, they said it in English, which makes me suspect what the purpose is of this video. Yeah. But then waited for someone to push it, and then when they did, all hell broke loose. Which was pretty interesting. This is bubbling up all over social media this morning. It just happened yesterday, I think. And basically, the moment the button was pushed, real life dramas played out with gun battles, fist fights, car crashes, ambulances turning up, you name it, just to bring to life the problems of the TV channel. It was pretty cool. So. What would you search for that? Well, the name of the video is A Dramatic Surprise on a Quiet Square. So if you were to search that exactly, you'd find it, or just search TNT video or something like that, you'd come across it.
Very interesting, well worth checking out, yeah. And some similarity, though, quite different because it's not experiential, but you got that Sky one locally where the woman walking through various scenarios of the channel, right?
Oh, that one. I was more thinking of the is it a Sky on Demand or a My Sky one where the woman she puts her coin in a parking meter and suddenly all this stuff happens on the wall. You know that one? Yeah, it's sort of a similar idea, but I think this one trumps it. This one absolutely trumps it. Beautiful ad. Well, experiential, viral video, whatever it is.
Yeah. Okay. Is that all for the world of advertising?
Well, yeah, other than a little bit of moving and shaking in the advertising agency and account world, out of nowhere last week came the announcement that ASB has, after 2 years, dropped its agency, a little agency called Droga 5, in favour of Saatchi's. So a big and very significant win for Saatchi's, because it's sort of been on a bit of a flat spot for the last year and a half, I guess. So this is the first really big win for those guys. So they'll be celebrating, well, they were celebrating down there last week. So interesting to see where that account goes creatively.
And where does that leave Special? Special, wasn't it?
No, it was Droga 5.
Droga 5, which was it's a very young agency.
Yeah, it was the New Zealand branch of a New York agency, Droga 5, set up by an Australian called David Droga. 3 branches, New York, Sydney and Auckland. it probably leaves the Auckland branch a little bit eviscerated. My take on it is that that's most of their business walking out the door now. So
okay,
wait and see.
All right, locally, it's been a buzz. Twitter is lit up with this buzz that the mainstream media has been paying some attention to what goes on locally on Twitter by providing a top 50 tweeters in New Zealand.
Yeah, this was genius. Well, good and bad. It was genius by the Herald because they got 3 days of front page stories out of just publishing a list of who's big on Twitter, which was pretty cool. Got a hell of a lot of traffic to their website, and it made for interesting and controversial reading. So a nice content play by the Herald. Of course, the idea of Twitter lists, who are the top 50 or top 20 or top 100 on Twitter in the first place, is a little bit flawed in my opinion, because the whole point of Twitter is that my top 50 and your top 50 and my wife's top 50 are all completely different sets of people, because we follow people because we're interested in them. We are personally interested in them, and what I'm interested in is not what you're interested in.
True.
So,
well, that's a good point. And because looking through that list, there's people that I follow for the very reasons given on that list, but there's also people I don't follow on that list for the very reasons given on that list.
Yeah. It was interesting. I picked up a few followers for having been on the list, and made some new friends, I guess. But trying to impose old school American top 50 sort of curation on a new thing like Twitter is always going to be a little bit fraught. But once again, though, an indication of the disproportionate influence that Twitter as a social network has on the mainstream media, because there's not many of us, really. I mean, there weren't many people on that list that we didn't already follow, It's just us. It's just us people.
Do you think it also evoked the sort of criticism that was handed out to Facebook early on? I'm talking about 2000, 2008 on Facebook, where it brought back feelings for a lot of people about schoolyard sort of politics, about who's popular and who's not, that kind of thing, that it dredged up school days horrors for people, thinking about, well, I'm not the popular one, or I am the popular one, or whatever.
What you're trying to say here, Glenn, is that you weren't on the list.
Yeah, I'm always on the list, eh?
You weren't on the list. No, I suppose so. There was a surprising amount of, or perhaps an unsurprising amount of, avarice and hatred stemmed from the whole thing. And, criticisms of who's on and who's not, but it's just a silly bit of fun, and I think a good content play by the Herald, and that's all. Move on.
All right, well, let's look at aeroplanes then. Strikemaster is for sale on Trade Me.
Yeah, if you've got $128,000, friends and neighbours, even if you don't know how to fly, because I'll fly it for you. Oh yeah, I'll fly it for you. $128,000 will buy you a mint Strikemaster. $128,000. It's flyable, ready to go. It needs, for technical reasons, a new engine if it's to be flown in Australia. But astoundingly, that's only $25,000. So, for something around $160,000, you could have this relatively high performance and very cool old jet sitting in your back paddock.
So cheap.
Honestly, half the cars for sale on in your prestige car yard, and certainly half the yachts tied up at Westhaven cost more than this. So if I had $128,000 knocking around, I'd owe it to myself to buy the Strikemaster. If you're watching the video, this just makes me cross my legs in excitement. In cockpit view of guy Dave Brown doing a circuit and approach to land at Ohakea, and it just takes me back. It's such a nice aeroplane. So it's like a Morris Oxford with a jet engine down the back. Very, very cool, very sedate, but very, very capable. Lovely. If you
owned it, would you give it TGF colours or keep it camouflage?
I would absolutely keep it exactly how it is, because the one that is flying in New Zealand at the moment has been sponsored by V. Bless them for sponsoring it, but they've painted it up in the most horrific colour scheme I have ever seen. Disgusting. So I would keep it exactly how it was. Yes, I wouldn't paint it orange, and I wouldn't put a goat on the tail. I'd respect the Strikemaster.
Very nice. And finally, in the news this week regarding the Microlight crash that occurred a wee while back, I think at the top of the South Island, the coroner has come back and recommended ballistic parachutes be fitted to microlights.
Yeah, ballistic recovery system parachutes. they seem like a pretty good idea to me. So the idea here, folks, is if you conventionally, if something terrible goes wrong with your aeroplane, like the engine stops and you need to land somewhere, you glide it down, find a paddock, and hope you don't hit a tree. Well, the way these things work is the little explosive charge fires this parachute out from a compartment, typically sort of up and behind your shoulders, behind the wing, and the entire aeroplane sort of floats gently down to earth, sort of Thunderbird style, and you end up sitting on the ground, smoking a cigarette, wondering how you got there. I think it's a pretty cool idea. You're about to show a video of why it's not.
Well, the one on YouTube I was looking at, it's I think they've got a ballistic parachute missile on the ground, not fitted to the Microlight itself, and I think they were preparing to test it. Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, going back to the Strikemaster, we had ejector seats, so if it all went terribly wrong, you just jettison the aeroplane and float down by yourself. This allows you to float down, and you've still got your cut lunch and your comfy chair attached to the aeroplane as you float down to the farmer's paddock. So if I were investing in that sort of aeroplane, I'd probably take that option. Absolutely.
Good-o. All right, that has been Ad Social Media and Aeroplanes with Vaughn Davis. See, this is a video once more. At tgf.co.nz, and chickens, yes, and chickens. And Vaughn Davis on Twitter as well. Thanks very much, Vaughn, from the Goat Farm.
Okay, see you later, man.